we look forward to Mr. Prabowo's government because I think, we mentioned that one of the focus is the downstreaming of critical minerals.
Yes.
Now, we like to say Indonesia is blessed with critical minerals below the ground, whether that's nickel, copper, tin, among the top 5 in the world, to say the least. And above the ground, we have the renewable energy potentials all the way up to 500 gigawatt. And this is geothermal, hydro, and so forth, right? And around us, we have the biodiversity that we can protect, and one day we can capitalize to spur the growth in terms of funding from the industrialization that we talk about. So when we quickly talk about how to process nickel to become battery materials, to fuel the electrification of Indonesian transport, that's just one example of what we can do as a country.
But Indonesia and its nickel industry seems to have a China problem. There was a report suggesting that Indonesia wants to sort of reduce the Chinese ownership of nickel projects. How feasible is that?
I think it's very much feasible, but we need to do it smartly. I think to be able to balance between the East and the West has always been Indonesia's strategy geopolitically. I think constitutionally, Indonesia has to be neutral, non-bloc and so forth. But economically, I think Indonesia has certainly all the potentials to also export the critical minerals being processed and value additions being done in Indonesia to the West as well. So for example, in our group, we launched about 1.5 years ago this consortium called the Indonesia Net Zero consortium with a lot of companies in the West. The idea is to make sure that the world can see safe, secured, and sustainable supply chain from Indonesia. But to do that, we need 2 or 3 things. One, of course, capital. The second one, technology, which sometimes may not be available in one part of the world. But the third one is better free trade arrangements.